Oh man, ran out of song. Kind of awkward since on this pre-stream setup thing, everything is running perfectly except today of all days. My tablet is deciding that it doesn't want to actually operate internet. Our internet is fantastic. We moved over. We're still stuck on Comcast, but because it's not whatever ancient thing mom had from like 2005, it's actually modern. My speed test is like 200 down, 150 up, which is more internet speed than I've seen in my entire life. But for whatever reason, my poor baby here, this tablet just sucks. And so, it's just deciding, today of all days, that I don't need internet on the tablet. It's strong enough for internet and gaming and everything. Oh, now it's chosen to connect. Let's see if I could access my, now I can. Now I can. So bizarre. Oh, it's not bad internet, Hordian. Now that I could see chat again. Hey, Hordian. The internet is great on my side. It's just that this tablet is... It's a really dorky tablet. Trouble was that a few years back I treated myself to a convertible laptop tablet, right? Something that I could use as a laptop and then fold over to use as a tablet because I like to draw. And the thing committed suicide on me. It straight up destroyed itself because a hinge refused to open one day. So when I opened the laptop, the hinge stayed in place and ripped through the screen. And I figured, alright, what if I get a tablet instead? I can get like a Windows Surface Pro 5 or something like that. That's a tablet. It's a Windows thing. I could use it to keep touch of chat. I could use it to draw. Except this particular one sucks, because it was incompatible with the stylus that I have. That specific model of Surface is incompatible with the stylus that I have, so I can't use it for drawing. It turns out it's really spotty on the internet. Best investment I've made. Oh well. But as far as Haunting of the British goes, I feel that we are firmly within the second act now. Because we've gone from a successful... Where's the quick save? Let's go to quick save instead. A successful haunting at 34 Benwell Street to meeting up with the medium Beatrice and then having to collect parts of an apparatus at Professor Ward's workshop. We haven't been able to find Professor Ward, but thanks to Beatrice, we found his workshop. And so we're trying to collect different parts of the device that would help us find ghosts. Not quite find ghosts, because they're pretty set on the Benwell Street house. But it's supposed to give us a glimpse into the supernatural world that overlaps our own. You've started working on pixel art for the game that you're making, Hordian. That's exciting. You weren't feeling good about it. Use dog skeleton pics as reference. That's pretty good too. References are there to be used. There's always been like some minor discourse about, no, that's cheating to use references or whatnot. But that's literally what the pros do. All the pros use references. How is one supposed to know how to draw something without referring back to something, you know? So best of luck with that. I know that you've said that art isn't your strong suit, so here's hoping, you know, keep it up. Especially that angle of it came to you in a dream. Oh, that's right, the last thing we did. Silas Bennett is out. Eugene Wood, was it? We solved his trouble with Patty's gang and got the photographic plates. Bennett, I think, is going to show up later. And right now, we're doing Florence's seance for ectoplasm. Florence was a shamster, but only because she actually is a capable medium. But the person she could summon grows stronger each time, and so we wanted her boo to come back. For whatever reason, it turns out pressing escape totally skips the cutscene, so I missed half of it. But we got the guy that she wanted, so we could do her seance and get her ectoplasm. Hey, Chillin' Chum! And that's perfectly fine, Chillin' Chum. I've been super busy myself, that's why, like, even I haven't been keeping up with things I normally do. But let's start with the seance, and keep our hands off the escape key. Maybe I should dim the lights for more atmosphere. See, we had to trick him there. When I figured out what that solution was going to, I was like, oh, that's right. The card with the address for where he's going was the envelope for the coachman. And then we put her address in a different envelope. He's been bamboozled, said he wasn't going to show up, and now he's been forced to. Now that he's here, he might as well stay. All of y'all putting your creative efforts to use, Hordian with his monster Metroidvania, Chillin' Chum with a short story smut. Creative productivity is creative productivity. Also doing things a slight bit differently today. Move the monitor to the side so I can put chat over here instead of over there. Ran some audio tests, working out pretty well. Katie King was a fraud, yes, Crook. But she's going to do the real deal now. Second draft? Well, at least Chillin' Chum. That's at least part of the process, isn't it? You write what you want. Second pair of eyeballs gives it a read. Then you scrap what you gotta. Come on, give her a hug. They used to be in love. Aw, he's holding hands. That's close enough. Don't you let Hammond interrupt this! I was getting invested in this. They haven't seen each other in decades. Three whole decades, apparently. We gave him the opportunity to spend more time with her, and he was like, no, I want to remember her as she once was, youthful and beautiful to my memory. Okay, this calls for a poll. Let's make it a prediction. Does her aunt die? Quick prediction. Time to sear into the future, Hordian. I'll give that one 5 points. And oh my goodness, Hordian, I think those art accounts have started to make their way into Blue Sky. Because I keep getting follows from brand new accounts with minimal activity except commissions open in their bio. At least they aren't super aggressive on Blue Sky yet. We finally had the K-pop crowd. BTS Army finally made their way over, so it's a little bit more legitimate as a social media platform. Wait. We do have jars. So I could probably use a jar that we have to collect the sample. And so maybe she'll be okay. Check them real quick. "100% of votes for yes, the ghost demand blood. The ant will die." Granted, it's one vote for 100 channel points, so it's not gonna be the biggest thing. Still, not much confidence for her. Yes, there is. He's noticed. It's just atmosphere. You gotta gamble big, Hordian. That's the fun of gambling, isn't it? Especially with something as meaningless as Twitch channel points. I'm still miffed about a few predictions I've taken part in other channels, where the initial prediction says one thing, and then 2 hours into the game, they're like, well, actually, we'll go by this standard instead. If I knew that, I wouldn't have voted that way. Or a series of predictions phrased one way, and then they phrase it a different way the third time, and you end up voting against how you wanted to and lose all your winnings. Ah! That's her curtain bar, but it looks like a timeline arrow. Start, end, current, and then dot dot dots. What have we got in here? There's a bird cage. Raven, not a fish, inside the bird cage. Are we going to have the raven go caw caw caw? Can't leave. We could talk to the screen. No, we're just admiring it. Okay, we'll talk to Charlotte, William, and then Florence to finish it off. Gotta get all the content after all, see all the things people say. And does that give a bit of legitimacy to him? That this is a persona that has never been mentioned or brought up for the commercial stuff? How much ectoplasm do I need, though? And would it remain in the jar even after she cuts off connection? Might as well. Doesn't even give me a yes right now or wait, let me do anything first, since I can't leave the room. It's kind of linear in that way. We can't get to this point without getting a couple of jars first. I feel like taunting the sergeant is not going to go well for her. Emasculating the vengeful spirit. Yeah, provoking him. A ghost that's promised to become more powerful, that's threatened to kill her. Hordian might win his best bet after all. Excuse me. Okay, you can ruin his pride, but not his rank. Quickly, where's my jar? Forget the monologue, you talk and grab a jar at the same time. What if there's a chance at getting the ectoplasm before the sergeant kills her, and if you're too slow, then it kills her, but the ectoplasm lingers, so you get it either way, but with a risk of somebody might die if you're too slow? Now cut the connection flow! Oh, that was it? That wasn't so bad. She's not moving. The stress of pulling him into this world was enough. He's still here. Connection was... Is she possessed? The materials we have do say that possession is a risk when dealing with the spiritual. He always comes back. No! Oh, come on! Come on! He's been granted a body after how many decades? And all he's done with that is launch her into the air and crack her neck. I guess there was no way getting out of it. But hey, now Mr. Crook there also has proof that mediums are real. Okay, not to ruin the mood, but given that our own rich bitch fiancé has broken up with us, do you think this might turn into like a kiss kiss slap slap situationship or a slap slap kiss kind of thing? We come into her life, she's happy with her aunt just doing charlatan stuff, and then we come here, force her to do a real seance against her warnings. She ends up killed. She's mad at us. But that perhaps this starts to sparks, you know? Going from a fiance who doesn't care about us and left us to somebody with an emotional hole that now needs to be filled, who's also in this paranormal world that we're in. This could be the start of something. Or she could just be pissed and then locks the door behind us, and because we finished this part of the puzzle, we never see her again. A neck brace Hordian and maybe cushions below. No, this isn't the start of a situationship. We've been kicked out of 2 houses by pretty girls. Strapping to the chair is also a good idea. But I bet you that if they made the old woman fly up into the air, that he could have done the exact same thing to the chair. Well, we got good news, Beatrice. We got 2 of the things now. We got the photographic plate from saving Eugene's life. And it's the only plate left. There were so many others. The last one, and we don't know the supplier in Romania. The photographer is surprised, but this one is consistent. And I'm sure those other ones are a result of like double negatives and whatnot. Or what do you call it? When you see a pattern and your brain interprets it as a face for something. It's a complex word to spell, so I never bother to remember it. Pareidolia, something like that. I'm pretty sure that's it. Excuse me. Figure out the unique qualities of the plate. It is our only one after all. If we can find a way to duplicate it. It could be as simple as having been manufactured in the Walakayan airs. Have yet to find Florence Cook's ectoplasm sample about that. So, the photographic plate from saving Eugene's life and the ectoplasm sample from ending Florence's. And of course we can't use this as proof of the supernatural. I mean, she was a fraud, and she was also legit, but most importantly, she was. Past tense. A luminous amorphous gas. How many luminous amorphous gases do you have with this property? They could take samples of it, study it chemically, and find out that it's not any amorphous luminescent gas that they know of. At least B is happy with all this. And the sample filters out, and we'll have to find a new medium to kill. Professor Bennett wasn't there when we visited. Before ending stream last time, we went to all the locations, so at least they had everybody. And he was not there. Lester was. That's why we got the eyeballs to save Eugene. Let's see, eyeballs to put into the ghost, not the ghost, corpse, to take his photo, which gets the lavender to the boxer, to put the rotten eggs, to get 1,000 pounds, to save Eugene. Right, it was that. Sir Arthur Conan Doyle himself was in the game. Not just the writer. The literary genius who believes that fairies are real because of a bunch of children had cut out pictures of fairies put onto their photos that they took of themselves. It's actually kind of fitting that he's actually in the game then. We had Harry Houdini earlier. Yeah, Arthur Conan Doyle was not fond of Sherlock Holmes being the one thing he was most famous for. He wanted to be famous for anything else but it. Even tried to kill him off, but there was no coming back from what the crowd wanted. A light from the street. Oh, the light of the building being on. I was like, wait, did he see your ectoplasm? No, just that light. The light right there. But he knows our missing friend. But it's true, Horty. He get up even the pixel art, the mustache like goes all the way up to his ear practically. Hermetic Order of the Golden Dawn. That kind of sounds like a secret society kind of name thing. Hermetic Order of the Mystic Dawn. Secret society, a bit of Western esotericism. The large amount! So, Sir Arthur Conan Doyle and the Hermetic Order are the ones who gave the £5,000 that ended up missing. Damn. So it was going to be his funds, but then he insisted it go to university funds. Huh. So he never stole it. Could we have Sir Arthur Conan Doyle himself attest to this? Save my reputation. Give me access to my own money again because my father-in-law-to-be froze my funds because he thought I was associated with a thief. Save our department. Maybe get my rich bitch fiancé back. And we have a clue. The clue is here. The great detective's writer himself. All we're missing is one other missing academic. What did he have? The power source, right? We're simply missing the power source. Massive and compact enough to be suitable to operate this device. Sad thing about artists trying to sell their art on social media. Well, the sad thing about that, Hordian, is that unfortunately, in this day and age, networking has become part of the job, be it artists or even writers, lamenting so much of the publishers demand that if they want their support, they got to push themselves on social media and network and all that, which puts so many jobs, unpaid jobs, into the hand of the artist. They're not just the artists of their own passion and doing all the research and training and everything else that goes into their art, but they got to be their own marketing team. They got to be their own social media managers. They got to be their own network consultants and all that. It's it's wild. They're kind of pushed into that situation where sure they could be making friends, but they kind of have to treat it as a kind of marketing networking thing first and foremost. It's what the industry itself pushes onto them. The remaining piece of reward's main concern. Does that mean that Bennett's the easy part then? And he was simply out for lunch when we checked in on him. Yeah, what about the great crime novelist? His novels are fiction, Beatrice. He makes up a scenario, then solves a scenario. It's funny going from Murders of the Yangtze River, where the various enjoyers of literature and crime dramas and mysteries do put Doyle and Sherlock Holmes up on a pedestal. They have their own book clubs about it. And everybody's like, man, it's just fiction. I hate Sherlock Holmes. I don't want to hear that name again. I just made them up, man. They're just books. It's just writing. It's just popular fluff. Compete with my most successful creation in intelligence. Man, the front view, the mustache really does go up to his ears. Contacts all over the city. And suspicions of what happened to our friend. Is his suspicion that Williams from the university is actually deeply mystical, and not as much of a stick up his ass Anglican as he puts on, and had possessed our friend somehow? He respects your scientific chops. Apparently, he was also one of London society who fully believed her charlatan act. But at least game recognized game here. It's not Sir Doyle yet, just Mr. One more added to the party. What interest does the Hermetic Order of the Golden Dawn, in all of its Western esotericism, have in the Box of Revelations? Is that a serious question, Professor? This is their shtick, it's their bag, it's their reason to be. Do you think in this game that the Hermetic Order of the Golden Dawn is in this purely from an esoteric interest? Or could it be a bit of early 20th century great game power mongering? They get access to ghosts, and then they get geopolitical power. If that's the direction it's going to go in, do you think perhaps the Russians might be involved in Professor Ward's appearance? Or perhaps the Austrians? He could be in Prague by now, for all we know. He has disappeared with 5,000 pounds and meta-psychic knowledge. We can't even go back to university. We've only got... all the other locations have disappeared in ones and twos. We've only got... Not even the workshop. We can't go back to the workshop anymore. Or to the haunted house. And Bennett's office. And we can't do anything with the haunted house yet unless something changed. What's ticket booth for again? George Melies. Ultimate Film Experience. I got no money. I got the meta-psychic glossary, the notebook on the haunting, and the photographic album with a bunch of dead people with spiritual stuff floating around them. And because they're books, I can't give them to anyone. As soon as I click them, it opens up the book menu. So functionally, This late into what I feel is the second act, we have no inventory. We don't even have a penny. We could somehow afford infinite carriage rides, but not a single penny to our name. Stygian Pawn. The Lovelace Baby. That's why I couldn't find answers to the last question online. Because the answer to the last question was this book. Dr. Price. It's even on the first page of it. Test my knowledge of harlot. I've done that already. We got the achievement. We got no reason to do it. Let's ask. Okay, is Bennett back? The assistant is in at least. My reputation precedes me. I like his boots. Where could I find Professor Bennett first and foremost? Out of London? It's gonna be in 3 days' time or something, isn't it? Should have been back. Should have been. Where is he? So Bennett and Ward are missing. A couple of days ago. Before he went missing, which would have been like last night or so. Became our benefactor. Is that where the £5,000 went? I suppose it does take money to produce a power generator of that compactness and that power required for the Box of Revelations. Finance excavation in Peru. So Sir Arthur Conan Doyle had mentioned. The Scarlet Stone. Is that the one that Thanos ended up with after sacrificing... I forgot those movies end. I was gonna go somewhere with that. But the Avenger movies always go right over my head with interest. The individual stories with compact arcs I enjoy. Ant-Man, cool. Black Panther, awesome, and so on. But the big collab ones I just snooze through. Are they themselves not treasure hunters, though? Bennett doesn't exactly fully embrace the niche of anthropology. What is a Scarlet Stone first? Okay, what kind of artifact is it? Dates back to the dawn of time, so it's a pretty rock. Alright, Hyberians and pre-Ice Age Atlanteans that did all the heavy lifting and heavy thinking for us silly brown folk who surely can't build our own stuff. What does it do? Continual high voltage energy on its own without external assistance. So this is our power source then. We abscond with a Peruvian artifact that we're going to claim that ancient Hibernian peoples made, and not Peruvian peoples, and use that purloined artifact of cultural and scientific importance to fuel our ghost box. We're gonna be that human to misuse it. So what was the arrangement? 5,000 pounds for access to the stone? And Bennett's come back with it, or should have? I mean, you're not missing out there, man. Once you've gone past Warwick and Coventry, what else is there until Scotland? That'd be the 1,000 pounds. That'd be the missing Professor Bennett. Now what about the missing stone or the missing ward? Yeah, cause even for 1907, it's a bit out there to say, no. It's ancient Atlanteans that made all these things around the world. They're still having mummy unwrapping parties. And they're like, wait a minute, you guys are too out there. Train leaves tonight for Scotland. I think we'll have to. A second location! A second city! We were initially given 72 hours, but the appor from the first ghostly apparition has given us a bit of a stay on the deadline, since the Dean is going to talk our case to the board and have us prepare to replicate the haunting. So this means that we have time to go to the whole city. We did all this in one day so far. This guy's managed to squeeze a lot into one day's time. He's been hustling. King's Cross at 10. Maybe this is the proper second act then, though. Maybe the assembling of the MacGuffin wasn't fully assembled, though. So maybe all that is Act 1, and then Scotland's Act 2. We also still don't have access to our money or resources or anything else. Papa-in-law-to-be still has our funds frozen from the bank. The university still has our material resources frozen. Haunting number 2 at the lighthouse, maybe? Yes, let's. You know what? We got game going, stream going, administrative paper gotta do today. I forgot to bring something out for dinner. Also running low on groceries. Gotta get more groceries. But Fennec has a car today. Is he suggesting that the Herbans is Australopithecus? No. I got enough to make something Hordian. But if I want to gussy it up, then I need a bit more things. Got pasta stuff could make, could do a steak if I wanted to. See, he's basically talking pre-Ice Age Atlanteans. He's also talking what I hope to accomplish with the global winter. Kinda, not that last part. If only there was a discipline about that very same thing. He hasn't proved the existence of said cataclysm. It's that tricky little negative. But we can't disprove it because we just haven't found the sites yet, that's all. It's because there's that cataclysm. Aw shucks, that tricky little cataclysm must have wiped out all the sites and evidence. Those scrolls and books and ethnic knowledge, they don't reflect the peoples who passed those knowledges down. No. That's about the pre-cataclysm people. Now, of course, for the game, it's all in good fun, right? It's drawing from all that pseudo-scientific stuff, but in real life, it's like, come on, man. We have cultures and knowledge of our own. We could make stuff. We could stack a few rocks ourselves. It's not all pre-Ice Age Atlanteans. And the only reason we can't prove it is because the pre-Ice Age sites were wiped out. The closed-minded archaeologists. Yeah, sadly, Hordian, History Channel of all things. The kind of network decay that happens when you realize, now hold on, if we put all the sensational stuff and some, like, reality TV things, that gets more viewers than history on the History Channel and so on. We got folks like David Zaslav to thank for that. I feel like he's basically describing, like, a common lithium ion battery in my phone. Small portable device that generates incredible electricity, seemingly endlessly. I was gonna say, but this little lithium ion device isn't that dangerous, but it does power my phone, and thus everything within internet access. So maybe these pre-cataclysmic Hiberns are onto something after all. Right, nukes, go on, we have those. He doesn't know, chat. He doesn't know. Surely, if humans created a nuclear bomb and destroyed an entire city once, then we would all agree to never use nuclear bombs again. That should be my conversation ender when someone starts going off on like conservative nutjob stuff on public transport. This has been a very interesting conversation so far. Do you mind if I take a nap now? That means good night. The man goes off about some kind of globe-spanning pre-Ice Age civilization. Very interesting. I'm gonna go to sleep now, thank you. Oh, he's got no inventory either. That makes both of us. Neither of us get to have inventory. Maps, tools, clothes, flashlights. This isn't a picnic, man. Same, Hordian. When I was doing university stuff and taking the bus back and forth from campus, the British GF at the time was like, "You're being so stupid. You're wasting so much time taking the bus and taking the bus all the way to class." Like, well, look, one, sweetheart, I get to talk to you in the bus, and two, if I need to, I could always close my eyes and nap a bit more. I get to nap or talk to you while someone else conveys me to and from. This is a good deal to me. Man, I was obsessed with that relationship at the time, but I'm kind of glad that I've had no choice but to move on from a thing that was absolutely not healthy. What's at the mountains? Oscar! Those glints! It's somebody's headlights. Another of your dream ideas, Hordian's like cultist simulator world of horror? Looking for ghosts to do rituals exercise. That could be pretty cool. There's a game on my Steam wishlist that's kind of on that whole, like, idea of trying to puzzle out a ghost identity and exercise it. I should give it a try. It's kind of cheap right now, especially with the Steam summer sale going on. You've inspired me, Hordian. Maybe I'll pick that up after all, and we can compare it to your dreams. It's gotta turn out that that is a signal from the Hermetic Order of the Golden Dawn, or Samuel Bennett himself, and Oscar here either hasn't recognized it, or is obfuscating the fact. he heard what I was saying. He heard me talking shit, and he's directly addressing it. Excuse me. Yes. Yes, I would like to do that. This is an adventure game, Oscar. In adventure games, you get to do that. We spent 2 days, 2 or 3 days, doing 1 day's worth of activities. Okay, let's go. What if I exit to the left? So it does matter. To the right it is then. I like the grass. Look at those waving grass animations. A few pixels oscillating. But that's pretty nice. Topographic map of the area. In Scotland. We are now playing a Highland song. I still have to play a Highland song. That Inkle game that came out. Was it earlier this year? Late last year? I feel like it was late last year. So not new city to explore, but new wilderness. It is sad. And if Sammy Bennett isn't here, we'll have to dig it up ourselves. This fan is getting too cold. What if the lighthouse is fully automated and there is no lookout, and the lighthouse is automated with the power of the Scarlet Stone? So, we don't have time to go there's a shooting star, make a wish! We don't have time to go up to the hills to check out that glint, but we do have time to check out the cromlet and the lighthouse, which are probably equidistant from wherever that glint is. Let's go cromlech first. That'll give us immediate answers. Has the site been dug up, yes or no? It has. In the center and in other periphery areas. You know what? Sir Arthur Conan Doyle gave us the idea that the Hermetic Order of the Golden Dawn might not simply be in this as an interest in Western esotericism, like on an academic level, or a pseudo-academic level. They mentioned power. There could be an element of the Great Game. Oscar isn't just German by descent, but does put on airs of like a more nationalist-leaning German. What if his working with Samuel Bennett was to give him and his faction greater access to these kind of paranormal, supernatural power sources? And what he's really after is to get this Scarlet Stone for the interest of the Kaiser. Could be the case. We could have geopolitical interests in our Ghost game. They could have made our game political. Can't believe they made Ghost woke. This is not the cromlech where it's supposed to be. Really? Udemos. We're going off a Greek from thousands of years ago who was another several thousand years off from what he was talking about. I think he's lost the plot. Does that mean the Scarlet Stone is not in air as well? Because like you said, it's not the Cromlech. Maybe the stone simply wore down, if his order of the eternal wind is real. He is calm! I can't believe the ancient druids are just cultural appropriating off of everybody else. And where to put it that's completely inconspicuous but in the middle of a ring of stones. Because nobody wrote about it. If we don't have some other ancient Greek saying that it was stolen, then it hasn't been happened. It hasn't happened yet. Yeah. After there's flimsy record of it being buried, there's no flimsy record of it being stolen. Ergo, it should be here. Professor here after all, or a more local archaeological group doing some cultural risk management before they put like a highway tunnel under these stones. We could always go lighthouse. We actually got an I'm sorry out of him. He won't find the artifact without him, and without the artifact, he can't go back to Prussia. See, we're both missing our boyfriends. Because if we did, we wouldn't be here at this moment. We currently have no strings to pull until we solve this thing. Is he done complaining? I get access again. Bunch of menhirs. And again, if these are supposed to be like ancient stuff, the engine design on them could have been worn off ages ago. Yeah, the most obvious question. Elements could have eroded them? They're by the sea. They got access to the salty sea wind. Is he confusing? Is he confusing like runestones set up by Vikings and their ilk to be ancient menhirs that all come from one civilization? Just because some standing stones still have their runes carved on them, ergo every single last one should. And all the menhirs say the same thing. Could it be? No. Who's to say he found nothing here? Have we dug to bedrock? Have we dug under bedrock? And why dig multiple holes if it's supposed to be in the middle anyway? I got inventory. What if? What if the spirals are only visible in the ghostly dimension? Plus, he just wants to look pretty when he goes up to Scotland. My one sole piece of inventory. Use it on the sun. Is there anything else you can look at? Just all the menhirs count as one thing. Can't look at the pretty sunset. I guess to the lighthouse. Or what about? Just go to the path after all. And use the mirror with the glint in the distance. Yeah, but no, not gonna work. Oh, I thought perhaps if I bounced the signal back, maybe I need to find a light source of my own, and then flash it, and then it'll go from a pulsing beacon to a more steady signal. You know? Maybe this is a call for attention. It's a radio broadcast just going hello, 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 hello. And once you make contact, then it gives message. I bet you. Oh wait, hold on. Forgot to do something. Slash prediction. Hordian gets to win. Yes, the ghosts demand blood. All 100 channel points go to Hordian. Oh, they got a dog there. We can't be in there as well. Why is that? That is a very suspicious thing to say. Why should we leave town? He wasn't even supposed to come to work today. Am I claiming the lives of hundreds of sailors? They're cursed and haunted. Is it going to be Bogman? The cliffs? Just the cliffs? The cliffs are pretty apparent. The wind, I'll give him. Speaking of the old British GF, we spent one New Year's going up to Scotland, but that was that one winter they had a really big storm. We weren't there for the storm itself, but when we woke up one morning to go from take the train from Glasgow to Edinburgh, that wind was so strong, man. That was like 170 pounds or so. You know, not exactly a stick. And just that wind. Me and my luggage on my back were being blown about down the street practically. What happens if I step on a mushroom? Cliffs win those damn mushrooms. He uses the gravel the exact same way I use gravel in Minecraft. So it's not just cliffs, wind, and mushrooms, but some stranger as well. In these empty moors and cliffs. Those who play the trumpets. I don't think that's gonna fit on their business card. What, Oscar? Are you gonna say that your pre-Ice Age highburns are all real? Yeah, but the ones who trumpet are delusions? What if the ones who trumpets are survivors of the pre-Ice Age, pre-Cataclysm highburns? Said enough, get Uta here. What about the stranger you've seen? Besides us. Maybe it's Professor Bennett? Maybe it's Professor Ward? Yeah, that's Professor Bennett. Found him. So he has been here. It's no worry then. Cave of the Northern Cliffs, huh? With a fire lit at night, Oscar? That catches the eye, Oscar? And that cave is where? To the north. So how much you want to bet that either the ledge has collapsed into the sea, or what else would be a disaster to take him? I don't think the cave is going to be too washed out. There's probably going to be evidence he was there. But no professor. There'll be... How much you want to bet he ate mushrooms? Maybe he ate the mushrooms. Not authorized into the lighthouse. Could he deputize us? If we ask for the dog's name, will we be friends, and thus he can let us in? It turns out the dog is a hound with a capital H. Gets scared of its reflection, and we have a mirror with us. Scare it with its own reflection. The dog starts freaking out. Lighthouse keeper has to calm it down. And while he does that, we go into the lighthouse. Thank you for your time. Does he not realize the situation? He's an archaeologist in an adventure game. Rope is the most important thing we'll need. Oscar's out of his element. Oh, it's got a cute little yip yip yip. It's so cute. And wags its tail. And then exit. Alright, let's scare the dog. Dog mirror. Calms down the dog. We can't get to the door from there, though. Gravel, maybe? I don't need this gravel or stones. It is blocking the door in. So, either I'm missing a step, or it is simply to take the rope. Okay. I guess we'll go to the cave then. Oh, the dog does calm down. So it's not a permanent state. So we can try to manipulate things later on. You okay, dog? Are you fine? See, Horty and the dog is fine. Man, the caves are all the way up there. Huh. Got an achievement, make a wish, look up at the sky. Which means we totally could have made the trip up the hills to get to that other glinting thing. Purple mushroom. That's cool. The lighthouse spins in the distance, and then you get the light that reaches the caves here. But what is here? There should be evidence. There should be tools I could use. We have the light from the lighthouse. We could try setting up the mirror to reflect the light in better. And that'll give us a few seconds, like 1 or 2 seconds each cycle. First, get the mushrooms. Amanita involutus. To render one unconscious. Cliff's just cliff. Can I go down this way? I cannot. And then give the mushroom to Oscar. So, if I wait, will the lighthouse flash in? It does, but not very well. Reflect with the mirror. Yes. So not quite yet. Too dark to go forward. So I need to stop the lighthouse. Oh, okay. So that's a singular use for the mushroom then. We put the mushroom by the door, maybe? No, no, no. I get it. I get it. I get it. Spook the dog. He goes to check on the dog. Calms down the dog. Mushroom with spores that knocks you out. Into the pile of stone that he's pounding. And thus he knocks himself out long enough to mess with the lighthouse. And because of this, a ship passes by, doesn't see the lights, doesn't see the rocks. 100 sailors and thousands and passengers on a yacht of some kind end up crashing and dying in Scotland, and our body count increases. Now let's tie him up. Let's take the hammer. Actually, do take the hammer. Should I spook the dog again? We can't spook the dog again. Good watchdog. A lovely lady either way. Oscar is not coming in with us. Direction of the lighthouse's beam. To Denmark, North Sea, so eastern Scotland. Light's still there. Padlock preventing access. I guess we'll have to use the controls then. We want it to go more north, right? Gently pull the lever without forcing it. Okay. That should be good, right? Since it's to the north of us and a bit to the west. Yeah. The light's straight in there. And it's maintained. Stick with the mirror up and maintain illumination. Aziz, light! The one with the light, Oscar, don't be stupid. You've been working with Professor Bennett for so long. You're the one who gave us the idea of mirrors reflecting light. Fire, some belongings. And the diary's gonna say, don't trust Oscar. We could use that to look at the glinting light in the first area. Getting tired already? Where is that strong Protestant German industriousness? Your arms should be all swole from either working the factories or the pig farms. Earth swallowed him up, but it turns out he is buried slightly beneath the soil in the center hole, and that's why he doesn't want us digging. Well, first and foremost, let's not put a bunch of shipwrecks onto my conscience. If it shines north, it goes here. Maybe if I shine it east. Because if that's north, then west, east. So maybe it might illuminate something at the Cromlech. But I want visual confirmation that this glint is merely the stream. It's a camp. See, Oscar, an actual camp that we could have been at 2 hours ago. And not a single stream to be found. For the conventional archaeologist, but one going for the Scarlet Stone. Maybe they got the right Cromlech, and we go there to one a little bit more distant from the sea breeze. And theirs might have spirals on it. Anatomically correct pixel art skeleton Hordians. That was a good time. Whoa. Their own mirror dangling in the wind. We could have been here 2 hours ago, Oscar. Well, the fire is only recently extinguished, so they can't be too far. They left their books. If they are looters, they would have written something. Getting rid of him. Oscar, your pessimism. I won't stand for this insubordination. Or ruthless looters, just like him. Same ones that jealously guard the location of their biggest find. This guy's gonna pull out a gun at some point to get an innocent person dead. Mirror. He only sees a sleeping bag, not that satchel, the bottle, the cup, the bucket, the box in the corner. He only sees a sleeping bag. Books on Scottish sites. Could I take the books or the lamp? No. There's not much I can do here. So maybe looking at the box as somebody come up from the right. There's nothing else here, though. And I can't... The mallet. The mallet to split the lock open. 8 layers, Hordian! Really are becoming a true artist now. Bennett, I presume? Not Bennett? Otherwise, the reunion might have been... I don't trust Oscar. There's a bit of the great game in play here, I think. Separate animations frame too. Fancy, Hordian. Really putting your all into this. So we know it's a Professor Bennett. No, this smells reassuring to me. First collaborating with Ward, collaborating with Price. I believe him. I see no reason not to believe him so far. And again, the only one calling him a looter is you, Oscar. And so where is it then? If it's an Eris well, but not the Kremlech. It's gonna be either in the box or someplace close by to this campsite. But there's a second Cromlech nearby that isn't? Marley's and her Chronicles. The Black Forest in Germany then? I wish this game had a log so I can go back and read recent stuff that was mentioned. Aw, Snapchat activity for Fennec. Saving my snaps and chats. Mostly our cats being cute. Oh, different Black Forest. See, you see, Oscar, the runes could have been on there then faded away. Aw, even saved the one of us in bed with Toasty. Labyrinthine. How labyrinthine could it be? It's just a forest. There's no walls, it's just trees. Yesterday and hasn't been seen since. So the forest itself is somehow a labyrinth, and the fog is probably going to be a bigger issue. So what do we do for lighthouse? We could use the lighthouse to penetrate the fog, couldn't we? The fog is dissipating. What's wrong with tomorrow? I also see more fog coming in on this camp. Be very careful, he's hunting rabbits. Is it trumpets? Just say it's trumpets, man. Trumpets that haven't been heard for like 100 years or so. let's say, the last time that the Presbyterians or whatever had persecuted the Order of the Eternal Wind. And so Professor Bennett got captured by druids, maybe. He's saying everything but what he heard. Just maybe it was the wind. Maybe it was produced by the elements. Mr. Price, was it trumpets? Just tell us it was trumpets. We'll be on our way. I was gonna be open to the possibility that maybe this man did do some harm to the professor. And then left them up in the woods of the mountains and doesn't want us finding him just yet. But I'm willing to believe that he was captured by ancient druids, apparently. So it turns out that the mallet was a key to summoning him over by using the box. Could I do anything else with it? I'm not a killer. Now you say he's convincing? We can't make him admit to trumpets. Excessive ambition. Vehemence in dealing with certain issues. He's working for the Kaiser, man. That's the only answer. The other people? The trumpet people? Them? Okay. I guess we've exhausted all there is to do here. Black Forest is to the east. I'm pretty certain that if I want to penetrate that fog, I need to go back to the lighthouse and set the light to the east. If that was north, then this has got to be east. But first, it'll almost be 2 hours, so let me give myself a BRB. I'm kind of dancing in my seat here. So when I'm less dancy and seedy, we'll come back, mess with the lighthouse, cause a few more shipwrecks, and find that professor. Okay, freshen up water, then I'll be back. Had to respond to Fennec, give our cat some attention, and so let's go lighthouse. He is still asleep. Those mushrooms really do a number. Penetrate to the east. Then away we go. There, see, fog's not so bad. Seeing nothing to look at but the path. A path that splits. You know, we don't have to follow the actual dirt on the road. This is the wilderness. It's a forest. We could just walk between the trees. Nothing's going to stop us from walking between the trees. Okay. I'm going to go against every instinct in my body and go straight. I feel like adjusting the lighthouse to go this direction is doing nothing for us because we're deep in the woods anyway. There has been 8. Congratulations, Hordian. Hey, Spirally Stone. And Oscar's gone! We got no Oscar! I've done a good job finding more of these spirally stones. More manners to the Cromlech. And the sound of trumpets. Maybe this also would have been impossible to fail. No, man, you're talking to us. You're fine. Now, was that because he ran away in fear? Or is he also working for the Hop in a hole! Or behind the stone. That guy's wearing a mask. I'm sure it's supposed to be like a skull or something, but it looks to me like some kind of like dog mask or something with a short muzzle. Maybe a bunny. Stolen the key of the stars. So it is in the box then. Oh, it's gonna make the dead speak. There was mention of that. We are going to get an ancient druidic order on our bad side. Well, there goes Oscar. Now quick, mount it to the back of the head! Mount it to the back of the head! Ah! There goes taking out the leader, gaining a disguise. So what's in your pockets? Herman Toothrot. Cole's got nothing, path and path. What I gotta do is get back to the lighthouse now that I know that pointing at east did nothing for this puzzle. Oh, spotted! Time to... I'm trying to quick save. This is linear. There's only one path out. Oscar! I see you found them! Well, if he was with the Kaiser, then I guess that plot's not going anywhere. You can recognize this path and walk at the same time. Come on, Patrick! You know, for a maze, it wasn't too bad. Oh, come on! I wanted to fix the lighthouse! Okay, what can we... Mushroom, right? There's a mushroom here. Maybe we can convince them to step on the mushroom. Or we just lure them back to camp. Step on mushroom. Step on mushroom. Nope, nope, nope. Just gonna nope out of that one. But you see, the lighthouse is broken. The lighthouse is facing the wrong way. But they won't let me fix the lighthouse because this guy's standing right here. Smashy, smashy. And now it's nighttime, and it's too late to fix the lighthouse. We're just going to leave back to London, and Has he got a gun? If he hasn't got a gun, I'm just leaving. I just walk away right now. Again, Oscar, if we just went straight to the glint, we could have solved this ages ago. Oscar was right, you're just a looter. What did you do to Professor Bennett? I don't think he did anything. I think they both came across it, and then Mr. Price here just ran at first opportunity. This artifact doesn't belong to you, or to us, but here we are. I feel like I have to go through all the options. Yeah, because he ran. Let him take the fall, and he takes the stone. Smashed his... So we did a lot more than there's even behind then. And now we'll do the same to him. Smash his legs with the mallet that we still have, and escape while they go after their original target. That we can do the exact same to him. I wasn't going to ask that question. I don't really care what remorse the bait may or may not feel. An esoteric order that will pay him enough. It's gotta be the Hermetic Order of the Golden Dawn. They're playing both sides here. If they could easily pay us to pay Professor Ward £5,000 to find this, then they could just as easily spread that money around to hedge their bets. Going to meet the same fate as the professor, aren't I? Nah, he is. Call the ambulance, but not for me. And we are gonna do the exact same thing, Patrick. We're having a conversation with Bates. And he's old, so unless he's like Saitama under that shirt. Maybe he's only 33, and he really looks old and gray because he's been hitting the human growth hormones and steroids super hard. And it's given him way early baldness and grays. Of course, we have to have this confrontation in the rain. So, what to use? The stone itself? I could just use a. What if I hammer the stone? I can't hammer the stone, could I hammer him? I wonder if giving him the stone would have been an option. Quarry. And it's gonna turn out that there was nothing. There was no one over there. The sites have already been cleaned up by the druids. Did they fix the lighthouse for me while they were doing all that? Mystery of the Druids. Is that kind of like Mist-like one that the puzzly retro streamers love to play, Hordian? Because if so, that's pretty amazing. Maybe these guys are part of the cult too. And the police are gonna let me off with a warning because they are the cult. Never a very reliable witness. This is a cover-up. Well, being a mermaid's not a crime, though. That's a police business. He returned it to the sea. Aww. If they go into the middle of the forest, they'll find plenty of witnesses. Listen carefully, more. There is no Cromlech. Let this be and go back to London and we have problems. Or does he truly mean that, though? He might be sincere in this. Maybe the druids have not infiltrated the police force. I can't imagine them leaving it as is, though. We have their key to the stars. They're gonna show up at like the third act or something, maybe at the climax. Maybe it turns out that Williams really is a big baddie, and isn't just busting our nuts at the university for theological reasons. And this turns out to be a Williams versus Druids. He is a stick-up-his-butt Protestant type, yeah, he could be from the same group that persecuted them out into the forests. Oh, hardy har har, because yes, he does. But we got all three pieces now. If Beatrice has been killed, then we've just assembled the box of revelations. It hasn't been destroyed nor stolen. Beatrice or Arthur Conan Doyle, and who's the last guy? Was that Mr. Crook from earlier? Bertolini. They went on and had pasta without me. Can't believe it. That's not Professor Ward is. We never seen him. Professor! Oh, Patrick, as if he's been out for groceries this afternoon. And like we haven't been scouring London trying to find him. He's never been very good with social stuff. We have time, tell it! Is it gonna be a prolonged prolonged cutscene, or we'll get to play it? He was the last one in the world to find out that Sir Arthur Conan Doyle writes stories. I feel like Professor Ward's talking down about me. Like beyond the limits of his social limits. Do we get to play as Sir Arthur Conan Doyle? Okay, enough fluffing up how smart you are. Get to the point. Couldn't get lost. I do get to play as him. Biology. Drinking fountain department. Pharmacology. Student. Have I just got to find the right student? In the common room. He was gonna be right here anyway. But wouldn't have until we spoke to them. Said to the sound of thunderclap. He's keeping an open mind. At the express wish of the rector. That rector's gonna end up being the big bad of the game. Mark my words. And since it comes from him, intended for the professor, that it's not really misappropriation, is it? So what's the game there? To be taken for a felon and mess things up for me? Wanted a portion of it allocated to the Metaphysical Research Department. Maybe he simply didn't want all that sum attached to him. Could be tax reasons. He doesn't want to go up a few brackets. Okay, let me check in on Fennec because he's messaging me. Okay. Did the professor have any enemies? Has the alleged theft been reported to the authorities? It's been reported enough that my own reputation has cost me my bank account and my fiancée. Any debts? Authorities first. To clear that up. And yet, Papa-in-law knew. Yeah, word is already spread. Lost me my house, my girl, my reputation, my money. Well, it's a good thing they hadn't reported then, since at least you don't have to put out a corrections. Technically, he didn't want the money to pay off Samuel Bennett for the acquisition of that stone, and now that's a non-issue. It turns out that the rector had him hostage, and Doyle had not mentioned this out the bat. Then they're really burying the lead. Ruled out the rector? I'm not going to rule him out yet. I'm still on team rector final boss. The rector is no adversary in the sorry game. I think the rector is the adversary in this interesting game. Again, it's his money. Then there is no issue. Reopen my department, get my daddy-in-law on the phone. Oh, in the West End, I can't believe it. Run away with Beatrice Shaw. Aww. Would have been cute if true. And back to the common rooms he goes. That's cute. Sir Arthur Conan Doyle has a new interface for his movements. Four eyes see more than two, because my two see none at all. We should go Scotland Yard first, put in an inquiry, and then head off to Dorset Street. This game is just full of surprises. Was expecting hunting ghosts. Maybe dallying with old cults and whatnot, and here we are playing as a famed author. In a more like find the missing person mystery thing. That name hounding me, hanging over my shoulder like a specter. Everybody making me play these games. But That sounds like little Ralphie, alright. What was my first time when I had to laugh? Is the chief upset that we keep writing stories of some independent contractor that goes around Scotland Yard and makes fools of them? Why is the chief angry? It's not our stories, surely. It is our stories. Justice for Lestrade. Where's our hashtag? I like how with that neck animation, it's like he's bowing apologetically really rapid fire. We're cut off. Everyone betray me. I fed up with this, Holmes. They don't get a lot of work here, do they? Got time to chat up like this. So he already had a reputation as a good character. Maybe it would have worked out to our benefit had we gone to the cops first. Mallory back up front. Just bouncing him like a yo-yo. Every single last one of them. No wonder this place is so empty. Man, it does not take much to put the cops on a tight leash. That's what, 2 cases, and they're all strapped now. Do I get to examine the police office then? Don't want the chief finding out. He will, but until he does, can I fiddle with the records and things? Foley the Catholic. Any other posters to look at? Newspaper clippings? They all count as one? Yeah. Posters. Nothing to the right. There's a clock. Clock is gonna be super essential. Collins, Wilkins, door. Nothing on the desks itself, though. There's helmets. Could I steal a helmet? I have no idea what hats they had that the helmets replaced. So that's Hornsby going in all the time. If I wait for a bit, will Hornsby come back out again? Can we talk to him? Probably not worth waiting. So Scotland Yard had nothing for right now, but they know Ward's missing currently. That's like this time that Fennec and I went to... Which one was the hardware store? And outside was a guy selling big boxes of strawberries. He offered some. I looked at my walls like, oh man, I've only got a 20. How much are they? Without missing a beat. 20! I got no inventory. Can't climb up the pipe. Gutter is clickable. One round jack is old news. Unbeatable until today. Okay, nothing else outside then. Would you believe it's a famous novelist? She doesn't seem all too impressed. And then she just slams the door right in front of us. Not looking for accommodation. Bam! Lady, you've been guarding the door. You would know if you turned up. From the bottom up. Went out last night, hasn't been back. She hasn't seen him per se. She heard his footsteps. Is Rupert the doorman out front? They make a cute couple. He can move in that way. No visitors, not even Beatrice. Wow, rude miss. Guess I'm not gonna sleep under her roof then. She found out. He overlooked the fact that we owe her for the lamp crystal now. I wish we could talk to Rupert. Rupert is something that Patrick overlooked completely. Then knock on the door again. Oh, I can't knock on the door frivolously. Okay, Rup. How unfortunate. Wow, Doyle. Ward can give a shilling every single time he walks out the door, but not us. Not the famed author. Good intel. Some bloke waiting. This is new information. The one-armed man. You ain't seen nothing. Was one of Patty's men one-armed? Anything else? We now have one new person of interest, but if that's it, then I guess we're done. So now we go back to Scotland Yard, which should have been our second one after all then, now that we have a one-armed man to look for. Oh, I can't talk to him. Come on, come on. Ah, he's just a prop. A lineup 2 night. I suppose how many several registered disabled individuals of that sort. But just musing how many known criminals on record are missing a left arm. Man, I'm just constantly going back and forth from Dorset Street. Poor Fennec. Somehow picked up a lactose intolerance. And so, coffee place giving him some milk by accident, and he gets so much more free time today. Back I go on the Doyle yo-yo. That sounds like he's being detained. No, you haven't. We just need you to identify a guy whose face you say you haven't really seen. They'll never know you were there. Except for you being the only person who saw him with Professor Ward. So the list of witnesses is going to be very slim. They might even have a pretty shitting there for him. Gets him out of the rain. Do they modernize since the last time he was in here? 1907 has that real high-tech glass. Maybe the most important suspect is going to be the one or two that they haven't been able to round up. And the sheer size of this glass, that is a giant pane they've got here. Then the first guy's gotta stop in the center, making everyone else wait at the doors like, I'll keep on going. I want to say maybe the fancy man, but any number of these guys could be him. Yeah, so there's a Patty Man. I thought I remembered one of them having one arm. Look, he might be Irish, but that's not criminal. Wow, Rupert. We were nice to you, you're whipping that out. I mean, true, but not because a Paddy Gang is Irish. Immaculate institution. We've hopped the script. We're gonna get nothing for this lineup at this rate. A phrase written on it. This is definitely going to narrow down who squealed then. You didn't see nothing. I like the bread loaf arms. This immaculate institution. These little bits that don't advance the plot, but still add character. When he looks down like that, his head is a penis. It turns out... Oh. Oi, you scumbag! I mean, he's getting to character, he's getting into his part, but that's not what he was meant to say. Add more drama to it. You said to get all the guys missing their left arms. From the theater. He's gonna peg the Patty Man. Number 2 for sure. I mean, technically, hasn't done anything criminal so far. All we know is that he had met with the professor and they went off someplace. It could have just been his ride. His ride came to pick him up and wanted some discretion. So we know how he went missing now. His coachman friend conveying him off. And if he was just an honest coachman picking up his ride, wanting discretion, then Rupert isn't going to be in any danger for having done this. Hey, Onyx. Hey, buddy. Sorry, Onyx, I'm putting the tablet on that side to keep track of my dashboard now, baby. Do you want to go around there? There you go. Do you just want to go back behind the computer? So he's admitted this so far. It's nothing criminal, just picking up his ride. Blackstone Asylum. Committed himself for his own safety? Half-hour earlier, gentleman gave me a note with the address and the destination. So we have another collaborateur then. Supernatural events at a cell at the asylum. So it's just more investigations. He was doing more investigations into the parapsychic. But then what? Was he just detained there when he started talking ghosts? Under no circumstance did anyone know that the professor was heading to Blackstone. It could be a part investigation. It could also be him trying to lay low then. Two orderlies waiting for him. And the director. Maybe this is Williams again. Maybe the rector was the one who gave him these instructions to convey a meddlesome professor away, weakening a department and making it easier to be closed. Hey, Onyx. Where's Toasty, Onyx? Where's your new brother? Hey, Toasty. Come here, Toasty. Toast. You're going under the bed, Toasty? Alright. I was gonna pick you up and cradle you for a bit, but that's okay. Wiggle, wiggle, wiggle that belly, Onyx. Cool though. One more mystery solved. And while I'm off in Scotland getting chased by druids, drugging lighthouse keepers with mushrooms, messing with lighthouses, they're off partying. Inhumane treatment of patients too. Didn't we also read some material in this game about that? Oh man, that would have been foreshadowing then? That the professor being committed here against his will subjects him to that as well? And it would be. Out of most ingredients right now. It's only 5:39 p.m. here. He gets off work roughly around 10, and he's already asking if I've started on dinner yet. I suppose that should make me happy that he thinks that highly of my dinners. It would appear that my man might be suggesting steaks and potatoes. So let me very quickly put those steaks in the sink to defrost. Which makes my job easier, because steak is just a quick searing each side. Hey, Toasty. See that, Toasty? That is a camera. You're internet famous now, Toasty. Say hello to the world. No? Not gonna say hello to the world, Toasty? Okay, you can go down. He's such a cute little guy. I thought he was so lethargic at PetSmart, but he's actually super, super acrobatic. Constantly climbing on things, straight up leaping over Onyx. Wow, thanks a lot, Queen Vic. Are we gonna have Sir Arthur Conan Doyle climb over a sign into the insane asylum? And we're going to get committed. And it's only after the chief gets back that Professor Ward and Sir Arthur Conan Doyle are going to get rescued from here. Right? That's going to take so long. In a 3 days of urgent. This guy's not going to know every single person who comes in. 3 Napoleons, 5 Neros, 4 Jesuses. He doesn't recognize Sir Arthur Conan Doyle. I was like, yeah, pull the other one. No. He knows Sherlock Holmes, but not Sir Arthur Conan Doyle. Hordian did say that he was a physician. Will those credentials fly? People could write and be doctors. Let me in, I'll catch pneumonia. Exhausting the options did get me a blanket. It's a start. This vine would not hold my weight. He didn't hear anything. This vine, though. Bushes? Between the umbrella and the blanket, could I turn myself into Mary Poppins? To the wall. There's more to the right. Is that shards of glass? That is shards of glass. It's not very elegant. Loose for it to climb up. Try it with the umbrella. A good foothold to support the weight. Foothold up to the vines, and then the blanket to stifle the glass. Good throw. And then up we go. Any day now. Any day now. Only part of a climbing animation. I'm a doctor, it's fine. This is just narrating so far. I don't think we're admitting this to her. A weapon that Britons of his standing know very well. Where is your manager? Arrogance. Dr. Hesselius, Dr. Moreau, Dr. Jekyll, Dr. Stewart. Doesn't matter what I say. I feel like no matter what I say, I'm gonna get put behind bars. But there's references here. Moreau and Jekyll stick out to me. Is Stewart and Hesselius from anything? Hesselius. From Carmilla. And a glass darkly also? Dr. Gothic Horror. Presented selections from the posthumous papers of the occult detective, Dr. Martin Hesselius. Okay, so that's what that one's from then. What about Dr. Stewart? That's too common a name. I'm getting real doctors. Fiction. Dr. Stewart is a fictional character in Nintendo's F-Zero franchise. Licensed medical doctor and charismatic surgeon with legendary surgical skills. Somehow I don't think it's F-Zero. Brigadier Lethbridge Stewart. Was he a doctor too? I don't know Stewart. Let's go Stewart then. It is suitably generic enough. Yeah, do you work every single shift every day of the year? Wow, really putting out the arrogance now. Welcome back, Onyx. Onyx, I kind of want to see the dialogue, baby. You want to go back on behind the computer? Okay. You know, you came out from the right last time, Onyx. You can go in from the right, too. Kids. Call the warden, huh? He is pulling the bring me your manager. Do we have to puzzle our way around this, Director Edwards? Free reign to meddle. Should have asked where's the director right now. To not reveal our hand that we don't know where the director's supposed to be. So we're going to have to break him out. By now should have already arrived. Then what was the point? It would have taken him just as long to get back. Mrs. Hunt, Mrs. Charlotte Hunt. Yes. Lady Ainsworth to visit her daughter. Oh. They're still sending their problem kids to be institutionalized. For eating her music teacher. That's a bit more than problem kid. She ate her music teacher. It's what the rich do to all of us if we don't take action. That is a screenshot. I wouldn't say practice. She seemed very proficient at it. Camilla, huh? Deal with his liver, heart, and the hands that missed the notes. What are the main benefactors of Blackstone? Lock our daughter up, keep her docile. There is a crack on the wall. That does not seem very impeccable. That sounds flimsy to me. Watch out, there's spiders in the crack. Hallways further down. Recent patient admissions. Cell number 31, third hallway, west wing. Did I just block the proof that the professor's in here and made things more difficult for myself? She threw it out. I get to keep it for myself now. What good is an ink blot, though? The ink has not yet dried. So I could use the wet ink for something too. Chain chops over the top scars. Wooden post on the side of the scars. Wiggly chain towards mid-chest. Chain chops bark at each other. Huh. Busted. What if I use the ink stain on the well-polished bust to make everyone freak out? That actually is a solution then. Giving us access to the crack in the wall and some poorly written 11th Doctor stories. I have no logic to this but following my fancies. What's he hiding in the crack? It is full of spiders? Pardosis hyperboreus. Umbrella the spiders? No need to make them come out by sticking the umbrella in the crack. But why have I given myself access to spiders then if I'm not going to take them? Perhaps I have exhausted this half of the building and must go to the hallways. He's busy. She can't do anything about Professor Ward until we get the director's approval. This is looking grim. And are already throwing her weight about what's supposed to be happening. Head Nurse Hunt, come on. But I can't do a thing with Head Nurse Hunt without the director. Hey, Onyx. Is he gonna buy it? Is he gonna buy it? Our story is becoming more and more tenuous. Onyx! Trying to get around my tablet, baby? Just trying to find a spot to look cute and sit close by. Hey, Toasty. You getting curious too? Got two cats to take care of and give attention to. Hallway 3, West Wing, exactly where he should be. He's got a cursed music box there. So we play the music box, and that forces a ghost to appear. And I'll hide behind one of the doors and take a picture of the ghost as it comes up. Then drop the music box suddenly, find a place to hide, instigate a cursed hunt, declare off a few objectives there. So, mystery solved then. We play green sleeves, and that gets rid of him. I've got the key right here. We take the key. Gotta convert the music box to the key on the wall. also serves as a jewelry box. Can store a necklace or a bracelet inside. An achievement for playing the music box. Well, this game keeps providing more and more things to do. Fully exhausted exploring London, then they give us the Scottish moors and druids to flee from, and then playing as Sir Arthur Conan Doyle, hunting for the professor, and now doing some infiltration in an asylum. But sadly, it is 6 p.m. here. I gotta do some paperwork, clean up a bit, eventually get some dinner started. So I'm gonna call it here for the day. So let me see who we have online tonight to toss a cheeky little raid to. This game really does seem so much bigger than I imagined. I thought it was gonna be like an English haunting, not an English haunting, and a Scottish expedition, and hey, much just kids is online. Usually he uses his SCP kind of personality to stream. But Macaw is playing a new sequel to a 1999 PC Dreamcast game, Skids Macaw, Skids Macaw, Skids Macaw. Let's go toss the raid Macaw sign. Thank you folks for hanging out. We'll be back tomorrow. We'll be back tomorrow and explore more of this asylum. Find out what happened to Professor Ward, get his side. And that might bring us to the last third of the game. Because we found our first haunting, we've assembled most of the device, we've come back with a third piece, we'll have found Ward, and then all we'll really have to do after solving all those mysteries is head back to the haunted house, replicate the results for the board, and then everything's solved, right? Unless some other complication, a big mystery pops up. So, we'll see how far tomorrow can get us. Thank you folks for hanging out. See you around. Stick around for the raid. Say hi to Macaw. And I'll see you guys next time. Take care.